Hello, today we're exploring how video marketing can captivate clients and enhance your firm's online presence. From educational explainer videos to showcasing your firm's culture, we'll discuss the best strategies to attract and engage clients through video. And as always, I am joined by my co-host, Scott. Good afternoon, Scott. How are you?
I'm very good, thanks, Damian. How are you doing?
I'm very excited, I have to be honest, because we are talking about videos. um, I've got a long history of video content across various different industries, and talking about video content in the legal sector has actually got me quite excited because not many people do it. And when I do see a law firm do it, I think, yes, you've got it. You're really doing it. And you see how much engagement they get. So I'm hoping, my wish is that I'm hoping that someone either listens to the podcast or watches this video and then starts making video content. And if they do, please tag me. That'd be amazing.
You can take credit, complete credit, Damian.
Me, I did it. Right. So why video content? Why would someone take the time to make video content? I know the reason why. Scott, I'm going to throw the question over to you. Why should someone make video content?
Yeah, well, I think video content has the main sort of advantage over most other forms of information is that it's sort of literally watchable. It's really sort of engaging. It helps engage people in a way that's quite hard to do, it's quite hard to get someone to sit down and read a book when they could just watch a video. It's the same reason that a lot of people, they'll sort of like, oh, I probably want to read that book, but I might as well just watch the film first, because it's that sort of, I guess, it's having sort of a visual way of explaining things is so much more engaging, and you can really sort of, stuff that might be quite complex to read can be quite simple if you're sort of shown what to do. If someone's explaining it to you, you can also involve sort of different sort of visual means to sort of show things in a more simple way as well. So it's a great way to sort of break down complex topics as well.
Absolutely, it definitely is. It's a great, like I say, it's a great way to break down complex content. It's a great way to engage with your potential clients online. In the last episode, if you haven't listened to it already, we talked about blogs, and blogs are a great way to get content in front of your potential clients, and video marketing or video content is taking that to the next stage, because it's way more engaging. And I'm just going to throw a stat out there for you that when someone watches a video, we're normally talking short form videos, so videos sort of sub 60 seconds. When someone watches a video, they will remember up to 95% of the information conveyed in that video. However, if they were to read for the same period of time, on average, people remember about 10%. So that's just to show you how the power of video. Yeah.
And I think as well, in terms of the way that sort of, if you're thinking, we talk a lot about sort of SEO and sort of how different types of content affects search rankings. Obviously, the way that sort of Google's going in terms of the algorithm changes it's putting in place. Essentially, videos are going to really help you sort of climb the Google rankings. It's because obviously videos are such an engaging form of content. Google sort of is learning to sort of prioritize that sort of content, and it's a way to sort of that it's boosting that. So if you were to say write a blog about a topic, and then if you had a video about it, exactly the same video, the video will tend to sort of be sort of prioritized in terms of search results, even though it's talking about the exact same things. It's because it's a more engaging form of content. So we're not saying don't do blogs. We're saying that it's obviously really good to consider video as well, because essentially then you've got both bases covered really in terms of organic content, and also it's a great opportunity to put videos on your website as well, because essentially if someone comes onto a website and they're seeing a video, they're more likely to watch it. They are sort of read reams of text. That's not necessarily going to draw their eye in the same way that potentially a video would. So it's just got that impact, really.
Yes.
It's got that sort of, and it helps sort of your clients engage with you just by watching a video, which is usually a far it's usually a far harder task to get someone to read something than it is to get them to watch a video.
Yeah, no, I know that. I've got 2 young children.
Oh, exactly. And speaking of that, also the younger generation as well. Like I say, they're always on YouTube and various video platforms. So you've got so you're able to sort of have engaging content that appeals to a variety of client generations.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, when especially with the Google algorithmic changes that are going on at the moment, they are pushing more and more videos, and they are from YouTube because Google owns YouTube, and so it's pushing through that content through as well. But there's also something else that I think law firms could probably really capture this potential. We've talked about blogs and the importance of blogs, and you should be doing blogs. However, if you're writing about conveyancing, like let's say the timeline of conveyancing, or what is conveyancing, or something like that, on putting it onto your site, there are going to be a lot of other firms around the UK that are doing the same thing, especially if you listen to our last episode of the podcast. However, not many will be creating videos. So you have less competition. That means that more likely that video is going to be seen. So it is a great way, again, just like the blogs, getting clients in through the door, or getting people who are associated with your firm, or with an individual at your firm with their expertise. Fantastic way getting in front of clients.
And we talked about obviously the conveyancing process, which is a big sort of a process to demystify, particularly for the first time buyers. But yeah, essentially through videos you can explain that information in a quite concise, engaging way, rather than having to write specifically what happens in each part of it. You can literally just have maybe an infographic come up on the screen, and that just sort of shows you it quickly in bullet points. You can explain it. That you can employ a few different sort of visual means to explain things.
Yes.
Again, it's more engaging, and it can help you sort of break it down in quite a concise way. And because especially if you're doing FAQs and Q&As, trying to raise awareness, you do want it to be quite quick and quite visual, to get the point across quickly. And like what you mentioned, obviously, Damian, earlier, in terms of having that sort of information retention, it's much higher for video.
Absolutely,
so a great way to do it.
Absolutely. You kind of stole all of my thunder of the next question I was going to ask.
Oh, sorry.
So let's say, for instance, someone's watching this video or listening to the podcast, and they're going, right, I'm sold. I think I should be creating videos, but what should I be creating videos about? What could solicitors and personnel at law firms create videos about?
Well, I think, we talked about the conveyancing journey, which I think might be an interesting one to talk about. It might be in terms of something maybe like litigation, for instance, in sort of the different methods used to help resolve disputes might be an interesting one. I think it's also raising awareness in terms of sort of key protection to have in place. So something like a will, why it's important to have a will, what are the circumstances that a will would be really useful. Lasting power of attorneys, for instance, what that is. Obviously, I've sort of various family members in my family. We've sort of had to get sort of lasting power of attorneys in place, and in the years afterwards, we've really seen the benefit of having those documents in place. But I speak to a lot of people about lasting power of attorneys, and they don't even know what they are. So I think it's helping raise awareness for things that people don't necessarily know about in terms of the general public that are really important sort of legal considerations to have in place. So yeah, I think those sort of areas just sprang out for me really in terms of what definitely worthy topics for videos. But I'm pretty sure every law firm has specialisms, and you're encountering sort of not necessarily client objections, but sort of the myths that clients are coming in, or sort of the areas that they don't necessarily understand. So what you can do, rather than always explaining that to them in person when you're talking to them or over the phone, you could create a video, and then clients coming onto your website will learn that in advance, because essentially you're they're seeing that as part of their sort of onboarding journey, coming and seeing that on your website. So it can be a great way to sort of head off at the past any sort of misconceptions that they might come in with, for instance.
Yeah, you can have your longer form videos on your website and on YouTube, and then you could use like your frequently asked questions that people ask on a regular basis about a certain service that you provide. You could create just really short videos, just just addressing that one question, and that could be a short form video that you could put on your stories on Facebook, Reels on Instagram, Shorts on YouTube, or even on TikTok if you dare.
If you're very down with the kids, yeah, definitely.
If you're very down with the kids, yeah, absolutely, yeah. Okay, so and then of course there's showcasing a firm's culture as well. So there's all that informative videos, but it's a great way of showing potential clients that you're actual real people.
Definitely. I think I'm not going to name names here, but there's a firm that I work quite closely with that have quite a lot of video content, and they have content not necessarily just to help in terms of sort of show clients various parts of the law of sort of their legal expertise, but also in terms of what is their working environment like. It can help with recruitment in terms of sort of this is what our law firm's like. These are some of the real people who work here. Essentially, giving a sense both, I guess, to clients coming in, what is it like to have a sort of to have a sort of consultation with someone in the office, but also what is it like in terms of working there? Because obviously, all law firms need to recruit at some point. So I think it's, if you've got a video or something like that that sort of showcases what it's like what's the environment in your firm, what showcases your diversity, for instance, showcase sort of how sort of easy and approachable you are then sort of giving out that signal to your clients as well, and you're helping, I guess, build up trust. And there's also sort of there's things like live events as well. Like, say, if you've been involved in, for instance, there's been some sort of awards ceremony, if you won an award, sort of having someone to do a sort of video vlog of that event might be a great way to show some to showcase your firm's sort of culture and personality, and and can really help attract talent as well, because obviously you're always looking for talented people to join your business, and to sort of give a sense of your firm. There's no better way to do that than create a video.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm hoping people who are listening and watching today have been persuaded to create content, and they might be saying, well, I don't have an expensive DSLR camera or a studio or anything like that, and it's the bit I've been waiting for to discuss about.
We were talking about this before
yeah, I was
recording, but Damian's got all sorts of gadgets.
So I'm going to start with your phone. So most modern phones, smartphones, can record in 4K, which is plenty good enough. Even the front-facing cameras, a lot of the more recent phones, last couple of years, can shoot 4K, which means there's higher quality videos that are coming through. My particular phone is a year old, and that actually has a digital feature that picks your voice out from and gets rid of surrounding noise, which is quite handy if you're in a fairly busy environment, or you've got background noise, a window open, or something like that. Then this is a recording studio essentially in your hand. Something you could not do just five years ago potentially. Just the quality wouldn't be good enough, but the quality now is better than my web camera. For instance, now, I mean, my web camera was 1080. I think yours is 720, and this is 4K. So, really high quality videos you can shoot with your phone. If you want to use a tripod, then tripods can be as cheap as you like. They're quite inexpensive. And then there are a few other things that you might want to consider if you want to take your video content to the next level. And the one would be an LED light. These are very, very cheap. You can pick them up from reputable online retailers. This particular one I've got has got a different filter, so I can I don't tan very much. So if I have a white light on me, I'd probably look a little bit like Casper, especially with this white beard. So
for the context, for context for our obviously podcast listeners, yeah, Damian's got a sort of an amber slide on this light,
amber, yes, amber,
and then a white one.
Gives me a tan. So yeah, these are really good. So you can have these with batteries. You plug them into the mains, and they're great. And what you would generally want to do is kind of put it up at a slight angle, out of shot, of course. So it comes at you as an angle. And the idea of that is that it illuminates the side of your face and keeps the other side of your face in shadow, and it creates sort of shapes on your face and makes you look more three-dimensional, even though you're on a two-dimensional screen, but makes you look more three-dimensional rather than being flat, which you'd be whitewashed as well if it was to there. Also, the other thing as well, to make sure not to have the level of the light lower than your brow, because then you'll just get these really big dark bags around your eyes. So you want to make sure it is at a good level as well, but also not too high. You don't want it right above your head. So that's your lighting. And then audio. So, there's all sorts of audio, and it can get as expensive as you like. However, one of the most affordable ways to get good quality audio is through a lavalier, or some people call them lapel mic, and they're little tiny mics. You'll always see them on TV. You know, when the guest is going onto a TV show, and they get mic'd up. Someone sticks a mic underneath their chin, attached to their collar or shirt or t-shirt or something like that, and that is a lavalier mic. This particular one comes with what we call a 3.5mm jack, which will go into slightly older phones. But if you are modern phones these days have got rid of the 3.5mm jack, and so you need an adapter, which I have somewhere around me, but essentially that plugs onto the 3.5mm jack and then goes into the USB Type-C port at the bottom of your phone. There you go. So that plugs in like that, and that goes into the bottom of your phone. However, there's something like that. You can get this for £20, and it will transform the quality of your audio, which is one of the most important things when creating videos. However, there's an even cheaper version of that. I love this idea. I saw this on a video. It's not my own. I didn't come up with this idea, but you don't get them with phones these days. You just seem to get a charging cable and that's it. But I'm sure everyone's got a drawer of stuff, and if you go to that drawer of stuff, you've probably got an old pair of earbuds that you take a phone call that you get with your phone. You plug it into your phone.
Oh yeah, wired headphones. Yeah,
you got your microphone there, and then you got your earbuds. That microphone's actually quite good. So you can attach it like a lapel, and then plug it into your smart device, just like what I showed with the lapel microphone. And again, that'll transform the quality of your audio. And that's free. It's in your drawer of stuff. There you go. There's your Damian's top tips.
Raiding that drawer of stuff for useful audio equipment.
You might find those keys you haven't been able to find for the last 6 months. Okay, so probably went a bit too much in depth there about the quality, the content or the equipment that you need or you could use for your video production. Then I suppose there's probably just a couple of other things that you really need to make sure that you have covered during your video content creation, and that's being SEO friendly. So that's if you're putting a video onto YouTube, for instance. We've talked about keywords and short tail keywords and long tail keywords before, and they are just as useful on uploading videos to YouTube as putting them on a website, because again, similar algorithms look for those keywords. And again, if someone's searching for something and you've got a long tail keyword that matches their search criteria, you're going to get that video in front of them. And then, of course, tracking engagement. You want to know that your video has been useful, and so that would be tracking views, the amount of people who've engaged with that, so either commented on it or liked it, or shared it, and then conversion rates, and that could be a measuring just for the people who have clicked on a link. The only caveat with that is that you need to have a trackable link placed on your video to make sure that you are tracking those links correctly.
Definitely, and I think as well, it's very important that you obviously when you've got this video content that you're sharing it widely, you're sharing it on social media, the social media platforms you use. I think also accessibility is really key. I think when you're creating video content, obviously, I think a lot of people these days when they watch even TV, they put the captions on. So it's important that your video has captions. Also, my big pet peeve is because a lot of times you get sort of automated captions, and
check the spelling.
Well, not just the spelling, check they've heard you correctly, because it can a lot of some absolutely wacky things when you're creating a video, and you say hello and it says it says some other word beginning with H, and you're like, what? How have they got that? So always worth proofreading what the captions are, just to make sure that it's not misrepresenting what you've said or making you say sort of quite nonsensical phrases. Because especially like say if you like that captions and sort of audio captions, they really struggle with anyone that's got any sort of accent. So always key to look at that, because it's not always accent friendly. So yeah, always very keen to sort of improve your accessibility. And also, like I say, in terms of the algorithm, Google does tend to prioritize more accessible videos that do have captions. And I think it's an important sort of thing as well, in terms of obviously if you want to have a diverse clientele, you don't want to necessarily be alienating people that may have hearing issues or hearing loss. So it's important that you have video content that's as accessible to them as well.
It's a really good point. It's a very good point there, Scott. Thank you. That brings us to the end of the episode, Scott. Thank you very much for your insights today. I hope you found this episode enjoyable. I'd say there's a yes.
I certainly did. That's why I thought you were talking to the listener. Yeah, I found it very enjoyable, Damian. Thank you.
Good. Excellent. Thank you for tuning into this episode of QS Wayves. We hope you found these insights helpful for your marketing efforts. Don't forget to visit us at www.growwithqs.com for more resources and information on how we can help your firm grow. If you have any questions or need further assistance, feel free to reach out to us at marketing@qualitysolicitors.com. And until next time, keep making waves in your marketing strategies.